Yo, welcome back guys. So this is the inner game of high notes. If you want deep singing knowledge that you get nowhere else, please subscribe, pound that thumbs up button, let's go. Did a video a few days ago about high notes, how I found them, what I was doing, about squeaking, about release, all this good stuff. Now that covers the physical side of what you need to do to get up there. But it doesn't really talk about the inner workings, what's actually going on in your head when you're trying to figure this out. Now for some people, in all honesty, not much. They will be able to sing high from the get-go, they will have no inhibition about it. Now for other people like myself, it's not so simple. What struggling singers find is this, is as soon as they go to sing high, it starts to jam up. Now there are technical things that you can do to address this. You know, I talk about chord closure, coordination, using the inner muscles more, all this good stuff, allowing those outer muscles to let go. But I don't really talk so much about the actual thought process that goes into this. What is going on? So in my mind, what I distinctly remember is this. A lot of fear and panic came in as soon as I went above and beyond a certain point in my range. Lucky for me, I found Brett Manning, a teacher who understood some of this inner game. Because before that, I just thought, well, that's my voice. I was just born with a voice that doesn't go very high. And that's the conundrum. We're trying to whittle away and understand the difference between emotional limits and physical limits, or where we are emotionally comfortable as singers, and when we start to become uncomfortable and we clamp down and we hold, and that inhibits the voice, versus when we're comfortable as singers and we can actually allow the vocal cords to stretch out further and further and further without that emotional panic and grab coming in. So the thing to get your head around is this: as soon as you start panicking and you feel that sense of holding, that's going to be where your range tops out. And this happens at various points depending on what type of voice you have, your history as a singer, where you're at right now. But the uncomfortable reality is this, is that in order to push that comfort zone and start dealing with some of that inhibition that's there, you have to go into that area and you have to be doing it consistently. You have to be really getting an intuitive sense of when is it I am changing everything? When is it in my range that I'm kind of, I'm feeling that grab coming in, that emotional doubt. And combining some of the technique work that I talk about with this sense of I got to remain mentally calm if I want to do this. Good singers are not panicking. They may be a little nervous, they may be a little tense about the situation. That's one thing. Struggling singers are panicking, and I mean that in a fight or flight type mentality. They really are grabbing. Yeah. This type of vice, mental vice that these struggling singers get in, the technique will only take them so far at that point. They've got to address the core issue, which is, why am I panicking when I sing? How can I start just whittling away at this and trying to stay and remain calm when I sing? Dealing with it in a real way. And people like this tend to be like this in their day-to-day lives as well. So one of the reasons this is so hard to chip away at is because it's going to go to the very core of who you are. And that's the conundrum I faced, is I was desperate to sing higher with freedom, and I was one of those people that panic, people that are fearful, people that are very scared of singing. Why is it I crumble under pressure? Why is it I get so uncomfortable so quickly? These are the types of questions that I started asking myself as a singer and realising, hang on, like, I'm also doing this in every other part of my life. Like, I watch other people and they just seem to sail through, but I seem to have this tendency to just totally get emotionally out of control within, like a flick of a switch. Yeah? Some of this goes back to the culture in your family. Now, I have a father who's mellowed with age, but certainly had an incredibly short fuse when I was young. Very short temper, emotionally volatile. I have a mum that's the same. Both of them would go from 0 to 100 very, very quickly, from calm to all of that stuff. that counts. If you take somebody who's grown up in a family where they're all pretty mellow and laid back, nothing really gets at them, even in very stressful situations, they're like, meh, let's just deal with this. Those types of people are much more likely to sing with freedom than the types of people that I grew up around. Now, that's not to say, the people I grew up around are awful human beings. No. Some people are just born with this tendency more. They tend to panic more quickly. And so for those types of people, it takes more work to just remain calm in difficult situations. And for people that are lucky enough to be, born slightly the other way, they won't have so much of this work to do. But what I'm saying is there are always reasons behind why is it that I'm one of these types of people. And that feeds into singing. It feeds in. It means that you're going to be much more likely to panic when things go wrong. You're going to be much more likely to hold on and get scared. Take a breath. Take a breath. Realize this is that as you exercise and work at your voice, the mindset of being calm and open is your absolute baseline starting point. Now, often I talk about some broad skills that I work at the bottom of the pile. Closure, pitch adjustment, getting consistent airflow, these types of things. But actually underneath all that is your basic emotional state of mind, the starting point you have. Are you calm? Are you just open and free and exploring? Or are you fearful, panicking, worried, dreading what's coming? I remember when I used to go for singing lessons and I used to with good coaches, and I used to come out just sweating. The stress that I was having to go through to sing. It was not what I expected when I got into all this. I just thought, I need to get a bit better at singing. Going into it completely blind, not aware of some of these deeper things that we've just covered today. This is why it's hard. This is why channels like mine are always going to be a bit of a niche, quite frankly, because when you get down to brass tacks, when you get down to the very basic things that a singer needs to address, some of them go very deep into your character, and that is not always easy to address and look at for people. Not at all. The hardest transition I've made as a singer has been to become a singer who's just comfortable, calm, collected, cool, no matter what's happening. Now, yesterday in particular, my voice was failing me. I was like, Jesus, how am I going to work this out? I had a 2-hour show to do, and progressively through that 2 hours, I was like, this is not working for me. I've got to find a way. I felt that stress and panic start to come in. Now, I'm at a point now where I can keep it reasonably cool and calm. I can stay reasonably okay. But in the past, that would have escalated very, very quickly into Jesus Christ and panic and all that stuff. Now I'm able to keep calm, even when I know I'm singing poorly, even when I know I'm not singing at my best. Whilst it's annoying, it's a little bit stressful, it doesn't escalate to the point where my voice starts to lock up and get all sorts of crazy on me. But you got to deal with these things as a singer. Even if you're very calm and cool and collected, it's not going to work for you some days, and that's just life. This is why singers are generally humble, and they're generally down to earth, and they're not crazy like egomaniacs. Whilst people question my ego at times, in all honesty, being a good singer requires you to fail often, even when you're good at it. So it keeps you grounded. It keeps you just, sat here like, okay, this is not working. It's stressing me out. Maybe I'm not as great as I thought I was. It forces you into that area all the time, and what you'll find is you go through periods where your confidence gets crazy, and then you get a knock and you come down a few steps and you're like, oh man, I wasn't all that. I wasn't as good as I thought. That's the beauty of singing, is it helps ground you in reality. You have ups, you have downs, and it will always be there no matter what. Anyway, back to the premise of this video. I just want to encourage you to understand this. When you go to work at your voice, when you go to sing, exercise, whatever it is, take a breath, reset your state of mind, stay calm, stay cool, stay collected, and monitor that through your practice. Notice, when I go into that area, I just kind of get uncomfortable. I feel like, I don't want to go there. Why is that? You know, I don't need to be, even if it goes wrong, I should at least cultivate the ability to just deal with that and accept, okay, it's not perfect right now, it's not great, deal with it. Don't panic, don't let all of that just totally spiral into all of that horrible garbage thinking. If you monitor this, you will find that you have a lot more success as a singer, in your practices, in your live performances. Stay in control, yeah? Now, that's not to say you shouldn't be expressing yourself emotionally, yeah, but it's not from that mindset. That's from somewhere else. So stay calm, stay cool, and enjoy your practice, enjoy the work. Learn not to be fearful and scared of it. And what you'll find is, as you go into that difficult area and you work at this, is that ceiling that you're hitting will start to get squishier. You'll start to push a bit more through. And over time, it will start to open up for you. And then you'll find that you start to get your full physical range as opposed to that emotional lock that you've got when you're inhibited and you're not able to get through there. Tell me what you think about unlocking your high range and your high notes in the comments below. Tell me how you fixed it. And of course, if you want deep singage, and of course, if you want deep singing knowledge that you'll find nowhere else, subscribe, pound that thumbs up. I'll see you in another video. Take care. Bye.